This is a true testament about Alice and well, actually, somebody that it's about Alice, but it's also about somebody that trusted doctors and hospitals and what have you to take care of them, because there was some blood pressure issues going on at the time, and that person would be me. 30 years ago, I had gone to the hospital, and they said my blood pressure was kind of high, but they didn't give me any meds. They just said, don't eat salt, don't eat too much protein, or eat a lot of bananas, and then whatever. Well, this one doctor, a heart doctor, he said, we need to get aggressive. We need to get real aggressive right now. And so he gave me some blood pressure medicine. It seemed to work pretty good. It was keeping my blood pressure down. And for quite a while, I would, keep my appointments and everything. It seemed to be okay. Didn't really hear, they weren't being alarmed anymore about my blood pressure. And then I lost my insurance. And my blood pressure started to rise. And I ended up in the hospital. And my reading was 270 over 170. And I honestly thought your head's supposed to pop off at that point. But in my case, it didn't. I didn't have a stroke. I got my insurance again. Started taking blood pressure medicines. Same one. But it wasn't working. It wasn't as effective then, so they kind of adjusted it, and then give me another one, and then it was this one, and then that one, and then it was, and then I ended up in the hospital because my lungs were filling up with fluids, and they said, well, your heart can't work as fast as your kidneys or whatever, and I didn't really understand all that. All I knew is my lungs were filling up, and so they gave me a diuretic, Lasix. Keep the green rivers flowing. And that worked for a while, and then it stopped working. So then they gave me another diuretic. And it was just a series of progressively getting more meds, changing the meds, in the hospital. I was down in LA and had been working all night, Uber driving, and went to blow my nose. I'd worked all night. I was in my car, but I live in Sacramento. But I went to blow my nose, and it started bleeding. Wouldn't stop. Couldn't stop it. I was like, crap. So I go into the hospital around the block, and they kept me for a week, and got the blood bleeding stopped, and gave me a bunch of blood pressure medicines to try to get my blood pressure down. And it just was just a progression of this. And so then I get back to Sacramento, where I live, and see a primary, and she's all freaked out. They've got me seeing a kidney specialist, and he looks at me and he says, so you want to get on the list? I'm like, a list for what? What are you talking about? And he's, be for a donor, And I'm like, no, I don't want to be on no list. And he looks at my buddy that was sitting there, and my buddy just shrugged his shoulders and says, this guy's got more faith than anybody I know. And he's like, oh, okay. And it was, again, a series of appointments with the heart doctor, appointments with the kidney doctor, and he's like saying, need to be on a list, you need to think about dialysis because you're heading down that path, and you probably should go learn how to do it. Okay, and this goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Well, then I end up I'm Uber driving and I can't breathe. I'm like, I gotta get to the hospital. So I start driving myself there, and I get to the emergency room. No place to park, so I drive around, find a parking spot. And I'm looking at the emergency room door and the lights and everything, but I can't get out of the car because I can't breathe. And fortunately, a lady walks behind me. I honk the horn. She came over and, "Can I help you? Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I can't breathe." So she goes and gets somebody to come out and wheeled me in and kept me for a week. That time. Another time I'm Uber driving, I got 4 students in the car. Picked them up in Davis. I was feeling great. It was a good day. Next thing I know, I can't breathe. I'm sneaking my little rescue inhaler out, and it wasn't working. And I was like, I got to get these people out of my car because I need to get to the hospital. So, you know how that goes. All the lights are turning red, traffic, I was like, I gotta get them out of the car, right? So all of a sudden they see the bicycle that they're going on a beer run on, this bicycle built for 8 or whatever. And I'm like, great. They jump out of the car. I pull into the first little open parking spot available, get out, call an ambulance. They didn't even know. I'm leaning over the car, not breathing, and ambulance shows up, takes me, keeps me for a week in the hospital. Now they're giving me the water pill or Lasix, whatever, intravenously because they're saying it's going to work faster. Okay. You really need to think about getting on dialysis. That's all I keep hearing. At least go check it out. Go get trained. I'm like, okay. So this is going on, and now it's at the point where I go into a doctor appointment with my kidney doctor, and he says, I'm going to put you on, I try not to cry when I say this, but I'm going to put you on hospice care because there's nothing else I could do for you. I can't, you either going to get a transplant or you're going to get dialysis. And what's the third option, doc? You're going to die. Okay. Well, dying didn't seem like such a great option. And finding a donor, well, that's what it is. So let's go check out this dialysis, right? And this is after years of them hounding me, pushing me. So I get over there. It's 10 meetings, I guess. They call them classes. I don't know. But I found out they're kind of more like a meeting. And first thing out of the lady's mouth, sweet lady. She looked exactly like my stepmother when she was younger. And so I really connected with her. Super great lady. First thing, words out of her mouth is, we're not going to give you a sales pitch. Because that's exactly what they do when they're giving you a sales pitch. They tell you they're not giving you a sales pitch. But that's exactly what it is. And she says, it's really not that bad. All you got to do is go down and get surgery to have something hooked to your heart, and a little tube coming out of your chest, 6-inch tube hanging out of your chest at all times. And that's just temporary because it can get infected a lot easier, so they don't want to keep using that thing, right? Then they put another surgically lead into your arm that's like a plastic tube or something that's going to act as a vein. And so when you poke it, you're still poking through your skin into that thing. You can poke it 1,000,000 times and it's not going to have the same effect as it would on a real vein. So I got to put that in. But it takes about 9 months, 6 to 9 months to heal. So you can't use that. You got to use the one on your chest, the catheter on your chest. And you can do it at home. It's really no big deal. I mean, the doctor gave me a prescription, tell you how long this has to go on. And generally about 20 hours a week. No big deal, you know. And you got to have space to be able to put all the equipment, because we're going to bring you the solution in boxes, and they weigh about, here, feel this thing. And the thing weighed about 20 pounds. And you're going to have to keep about, I don't know, what'd she say, 50 or so of them, you know, in stock. You know, I'm just loving this. You know, I'm just loving this. I'm like, okay. And do you have animals? Can't be having your animals around, because we can't take the risk of, you know, animals getting in here and hair getting in there or whatever. So no animals. And then you're going to have this drain hose. It's like 20 feet long, so that gives you the ability to be able to go use the bathroom. So hopefully your bathroom is close to your room where you're going to set all this up, right? I mean, this is just sounding like so much fun. And I said, you know, just give me the death certificate and I'll sign it right now. She goes, what? I go, no, I'm not going to do this. Well, you can go into a facility and then they'll do it all for you. And it's only 3 hours a day, 3 days a week, 3 or 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. You sit in a comfortable chair and they'll give you some Kool-Aid or whatever. You know, you'll make friends and you'll have a new life. No, not for me. So I prayed to God, there's got to be another. Hey, I'm not afraid to die. I know where I'm going. You know, so, you know, death certificate's no big deal, you know, for me. But we just had a grandbaby a week ago, and I'd really love to see her. And anyways, so I'm in the hospital, and my cousin, Alice, remember Alice? Is what this whole thing's about, Alice. Okay. I've known Alice for 50 years. Met her the same day, around the same time I met my wife. I was 15 years old. Okay. Alice, 15, and I think we're the same age. So she has been a phlebotomist for 20 years, worked with doctors. She doesn't have a degree, but she's worked with doctors, got the practical experience. She's been in every marketing opportunity that crossed her path, tried really hard, you know, but nothing that she didn't believe in 100%. And, you know, she's my cousin, and I support that. And I supported her any way I could. She came to me, and she was telling me about how important water was, and I was having a hard time drinking water. The only way I could drink it was to put some trace minerals in it, and that was the only way I could make it go down. And so she said, hey, you know, these water filters are the best filters on the planet, you know, and you need to get one, because, and not only that, you can make a few bucks showing other people, right? So I said, all right, let me check it out, you know. And oh my God, I can drink water now. I couldn't even drink water before.
Wow.
And I love it. I can't get enough of it. And so, you know, Alice is just one of those kind of people. She's a lot like me, you know. She really loves people, and she really wants to, you know. When I decided I was going to get into sales, I said, you know, that I believe that the Lord led me there, and I had to honor Him with anything that I did. I wasn't out there to just wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of thing. It was not me. So I understood Alice, and I, you know, supported her. So, and it's really important that you understand that, because that's why I'm doing this right now, you know. And I just thought it was ironic that my mother owned a record store, and heard, you know, we were just surrounded by music my whole life as a kid, and I didn't really ask for it. That's just how it was. And so I never thought that music was going to actually save my life. And I was just telling my buddy here that, you know, I play guitar, but I never thought in a million years I'd look at that thing. There's no way I'd be able to play that thing. And now I play and I write songs. The thing is, this is true. And when you tell the truth, you don't have to really worry about what you're saying because it's true. Every time. So here I am deciding that, you know, I'm not going to do the dialysis. I'll sign the death certificate. Alice comes to visit me in the hospital and she says, "Cuz, I got something. And I said, "What you got?" Right now, I'm desperate. I'll take anything. She said, "I came across this doctor, Dr. Samuel Peters, who was and I don't know exactly, I can't, you know, tell you everything about his background, but this is basically the gist of it, that he was an herbalist, a doctor, a scientist, studied with NASA. This guy's not a fly-by-night, not some quack. And it's Alice, who I know is my cousin for 50 years, not gonna lie to me. And I'm desperate. She says, this doctor, he figured out how to take frequencies, which I like to call music, because that's what music is, frequencies. I just confirmed it with my recording artist here. And, you know, I've always heard of tree huggers. I'm sure we all have. You know, it's, you know, why do you want to hug the tree? You know, because it gives off energy. You know, we've all heard of Earl Gibbons. You know, many parts of the tree are edible. Yep. You know, and so, I mean, I heard all this stuff, and I don't know if I could say I believe it 100%, but they obviously did. So, this doctor, Dr. Peters, was able to take and copy those frequencies, see how they affected your body, and then created different frequencies to affect different parts of your body. Oh, not only physical, but spiritually too, you know, and or emotionally or whatever, you know, physically, right? Physically and mentally. That's what I was trying to get. People that have had, you know, all kind of mental conditions or whatever are, you know, bipolar and all that, or for some reason they're getting it together. Kind of ironic, isn't it? So she said, so he took these frequencies and he created these files, listed them A through Z, gives a little summary on each one. And what you do is you take your phone and you go to that file, and you know, and you get a subscription of them. For $65, you get 100 sessions, and for another $10, you get another 50. So for $75, you get 150, which seems like a better deal. And then you can buy some more, you know, throughout the month if you run out or whatever. And that's what I did the first month. I blew through like 250 of them. And when I re-upped, I said, I'm going for the big package because it's the best deal. It's $175 and I get 500 of them. And what's really cool is I can share my code. So if they can't afford it, that's fine. They can use mine. Let's share. You know, when you can afford it, get them. If not, that's fine. Just let's share. You share with your friends. Let's build this thing and get people healthy. Really is the bottom line. So, and I didn't know I was going to go there, but too late. Anyway, so here I am, desperate, and she says, you know, do this one, this one, this one, this one. There's one for, you know, frequencies to balance your blood pressure, to detox your blood, to balance your sugars, multivitamin for your eyes. There's one it's called Advanced Alice, because the system that he created is called Alice. not my cousin Alice, but the system where you get these frequencies. It's Alice Systems, AI. He uses AI technology to create these frequencies that the trees are giving off, the nuts are giving off, the whatever grass or whatever it is that he's drawing from to create these frequencies that are affecting our bodies. Okay, in my case, I've been on, for those of you that know the medicines, okay, there's labetatol, 300 milligram twice a day, clonidine twice a day, Bumax, which was the Lasix that they switched to, twice a day, inhalers, regular, daily, and rescue inhalers in case of an emergency, potassium for, because what's happening now is I'm losing some of my vital other, vitamins and minerals or whatever, so I have to replace them with other stuff that they're prescribing. And so my kidney doctor says, bro, because I'm always telling him, he goes, your kidneys can never get better. And every time I go in there, they're getting a little bit better, 2%. I'll take that. This last time I go in there, he looks at me and he goes, dude, your kidneys are worse than ever. I'm like, what? He goes, you are so toxic. And that's when he told me he was going to put me on the list, the hospice care. Or go down and get your dialysis started. So here I am with Alice. And Alice is an acronym. Artificial Liaison Intelligent Computing Enumerization. And I start doing the treatments, sessions. We got to call them sessions to be legal. There's a disclaimer. You click on it saying that no guarantees. Hey, if it works, don't fix it. Well, in my case, if I ate one more of those meds, I felt like I was going to die anyways. And I told Alice, my cousin Alice, I'm scared. So she talked to Dr. Peters and he said, tell him, don't be scared. Just don't be scared, just check your blood pressure, go get a blood pressure machine. I didn't have a blood pressure machine because what was I going to do with a blood pressure machine? Check my blood pressure and go, oh, it's this, run to the emergency room every time? I already did that too many times. So no, when I get to the doctor, they'll check my blood pressure and that'll be that. And believe me, a lot of people didn't think that was very smart, all right? Well, I never thought it was very smart anyway, so it didn't really matter. I just didn't want to deal with it because I didn't have an alternative. But now I did. Now I've got these frequencies. And, it's kind of weird when you think about it. I mean, there's some, but if you've been around it your whole life, then maybe not, And I'm finding more and more people understand it when I refer to it as music. And I remember a long, long time ago, I was told, somebody told me they were doing music therapy. And I thought, well, I play guitar. I mean, I would love to do that. I had no clue on how to do it. But I wanted to. I wanted to go to the hospitals and do music therapy, whatever, So here I am, and I got Doc in the Box right here. Everything from A to Z. I'm completely, within 2 to 3 weeks, I am completely off my blood pressure medicine, with the exception of one pill that one time when I went to the emergency room, I was on all the stuff, but I went to the emergency room, and they said, look, you're already on a lot of stuff, so we're just going to give you this one. And that way you can go see your primary and they can adjust and do whatever they're going to do. But this will be the one that will kind of hold you over. So that's the only one that I'm taking. I went and got me a blood pressure cuff because now I have a reason. I can monitor it. But I've got my doc in the box, my Alice, not my cousin Alice. Right there, available for me. And so I'm going through all of them. I'm doing them. I'm controlling my blood pressure. And then I thought, well, maybe if I did the blood pressure like 3 times, in the day, took my pills 3 times in the day, why not do the blood pressure one 3 times in the day? And I did that. I woke up the next morning, my blood pressure was 140/70. I screamed so loud. I didn't even know I could have those kind of blood pressures. I cried my eyes out. I've been on the Zoom meetings that they have, and I never said anything. I've just been the fly on the wall because I want to listen and hear what other people have to say. But at that time, I said, yeah, I got something to say. And I told them, this is what happened. And they said, well, we would like to have your testimony, like a video of your testimony. So that's why we're here. And made a little jingle, with the Alice's Restaurant theme about having your health back with Alice's systems, AI. It just makes sense to me. So here I go.
It's simple to use, not a lot to learn. Sit right down and wait your turn. Pick your track and take a breath. Let Alice AI do the rest. Put your phone in your wrist, your chest to your back. Any way it works, she'll get you on track. You'll be feeling better, and that's a fact. You can get your health back with Alice AI Systems. Just log right in and pick your track. Go and lay your phone right on its back. You'll be feeling better, no need to ask. You can get your health back. You can get your health back with Alice AI Systems.